Data doesn't tell stories on its own. People tell stories. This example illustrates how, simply by changing the scope and context, you can use the same data to tell two completely different stories. What we're looking at right now is the free and reduced lunch population of students attending public schools for 7 neighborhood hubs in Denver and Aurora. And we're looking at this data and how it's changed over the past 6 years. When I show people this graph and ask them what they notice, they almost always point to the same thing. Stapleton, the neighborhood on the far right. They say, wow, those other neighborhoods, the population of free and reduced lunch kids is just growing and growing, whereas in Stapleton, there must not be very many at-risk kids. And that's true when we look at Stapleton in the context of these other neighborhoods. But there are a lot of things we don't know. How does the overall student population compare? Each of these hubs has a different total number of students, so maybe percent free and reduced lunch would give us a better idea of what's really going on. But okay, we don't have that data right now, so what happens if using this same data we just zoom in on Stapleton? Here's what that looks like. And now the picture and the story has completely changed. Same exact data, all we've changed is the framing. When we look at it this way, the story that emerges is that the at-risk youth population has been rising steadily over the past 6 years, and in fact has more than doubled. So even though, in the context of other neighborhoods, it looks like students in Stapleton are well off, that's what it looked like. In the context of Stapleton on its own, we can see that this neighborhood has a growing population of students living at or near poverty. These are just two of the virtually infinite stories you can tell with this one set of data. You need the appropriate context to explain this story and really understand what's going on behind the data. That's where storytelling comes in, and that's where using a tool like Floodlight can help. You can add explanatory text, photos, maps, videos, testimonials, anecdotes, whatever information you need to fully flesh out your version of the data story.